call him yet, but we'll find that out in a minute. We're doing an interview in front of the TY, one of the TY groups in the school, and I'm going to be asking Colman a bunch of questions about his life and his work. And we're going to get some input from the audience, who are all looking at us now as if we're like two complete weirdos, but anyway, let them. Colman, you're very welcome to the school. Absolutely delighted to have you back.
Thanks for having me.
I know you're familiar with the place and we're familiar with you to a certain extent, but I want to go kind of as if we're not, so that I totally understand and they totally understand who you are and what kind of place you have in the world and in Ireland. So will you tell me first of all, like, where you're from, where you grew up and where you're living?
All right.
Simple question.
Yeah, simple. So my name is Colman Power. I'm an organic grower, personal trainer, nutritionist. I'm an author. I'm a public speaker, and now I suppose TV individual. So as a result of that, I combine so many different things towards education is what I suppose mostly do at the minute. I'm based in Waterford. I've travelled around a lot. I've been to several different countries, which is definitely something I would recommend to a lot of people, to learn a different culture and taste a different food. And meeting people has probably been the biggest game changer for me as a person who's developed from the age of, I'm just trying to remember what age I am, 34.
We'll go there. Let's go to your age. Like, you grew up in Waterford, did you?
I grew up in Waterford, yeah.
And did you go to school in Waterford as well?
I went to school in Waterford. I went to college in Waterford, WIT. We might be called SE2 now.
So when you were their age, did you do transition year in school?
I did do transition year.
And do you remember it?
I certainly do.
And do you remember what your attitude towards transition year was and people like you coming into the school to talk to your transition year?
I'm going to say my transition year definitely wouldn't have been as, I'm going to say, structured as this school is, right? And I have to say, like, firstly, for having someone like myself, and I'm sure you have many others that come in of a similar, I'm going to say, stature and have different pieces of knowledge to pass on to you. Even the whole orientation of the room when I came in, that's a million miles away from when I was in school. We all wore the same uniform. You're allowed to, I suppose, express yourself in different ways compared to what I was. And I suppose a different generation.
What was the school?
School was Kilmacthomas in Waterford.
And was it a religious school?
Yeah, it was. I'm raised a Catholic.
Yeah.
I'm raised a Catholic.
So it would have been. Were there priests in this?
No, there wouldn't have been priests in this school.
They left, but I presume previous generations there would have been.
Yeah,
priests
maybe so.
But it was still kind of quite strict.
Yeah, relatively strict. But I would be of the mindset that strict is actually good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you get on well in school in terms of behaviour and cooperating with the teachers, or were you a troublemaker and a bit?
The answer that I would give you might be different to what everyone else will tell you.
You give us your answer and then tell us what other people might
No,
thought.
my answer was that I wasn't really someone who excelled in school. I got poor grades. As I mentioned earlier, I was dyslexic by trade, if you want to call it that. I just was on every single bus outside the school possible. I was on the hurling team, I was on the football, I was on the orienteering, I was on the chess club just because there was one day out where they went to McDonald's and I wanted to be on that bus. Because my mother and father were nurses, they're psychiatric nurses, so that means like there was no, I'm sick, no, you're going into school. And actually the one day that I really was sick, I wanted to go into school. Because otherwise, realistically, you're on your own. I didn't have a lot of friends in school, I didn't really fit in. I was someone who couldn't get onto sports teams because I wasn't skilled enough. I didn't come from a farming background. My parents didn't have land, but they came.
But there were a lot of farmers in your school, was there?
A huge amount of farmers, and there was also a huge amount of hurlers, and there was then I'm going to say, everything else in between. And I just literally fell between all the cracks. The cool people, I wasn't cool, but I wasn't just fitting into any group in particular.
But you were trying to, in order to get out of classroom situations, you were doing your best to get into the teams and
yeah.
be on the
So
trips.
I tried everything. I tried everything.
You say you're dyslexic. When did you know that you were dyslexic? How did you get a diagnosis?
Yeah, I did get diagnosed. I got diagnosed, I'd say, in about fourth year, actually. I think about fourth year. So then from then on, I was able to get an exemption in Irish. But now I'm super in love with Irish. I have a grapher that I really like, so Colman, the player, stand him dumb. Even in, so when I actually got the exemption in fourth year, I then asked, could I sit in the class and do my homework? I just listened. Yeah. So I'm a much better listener. I know I will talk a lot and I do talk a lot, but I actually really do. I really listen. So even as you're talking and people are talking or interacting, I'm looking, I'm watching, I'm learning from what you guys are doing. Right? People who were early, people who were late, people what they wore, people what they said, people what they rated themselves out of. I already know a little bit about you, and you've told me very little.
Yeah. And the dyslexia, just to go back to that first, did it help you understand what was up with how you fitted into school? Did it help your parents understand as well?
Maybe my parents, I didn't slow down enough. So whatever you know about me so far, I like to go nearly as fast as I possibly can. And that's why I'm kind of recording this as we're talking here. Because I like to do as much. I'm a doer as opposed to someone who is mindful, yoga, sit down. And there's loads of people in school, that maybe your classmates as well, that are into a slower pace of life. I like to go as fast as I possibly can in any way that I can. It's just something that's ingrained in me.
And do you think that actually might fit in with the dyslexia? Do you have any other neurodiversities that you know of? Like, would you be dyspraxic as well, maybe because you weren't great at the hurling and the football?
Well, I would hope to say that I was okay at hurling, but I wasn't I wasn't at the A grade.
We could actually try you out later on. We have a hurley there in the sliotar.
I would love, and that would definitely be recorded as well. No, I can play hurling. Okay. It's just that I was trying to. I wanted
for the courses in very hurling county,
yeah.
So the standard would have been very high.
I wanted to play county. I was good. I'm probably shooting myself down.
Okay,
I was good.
Okay,
yeah. And I would consider myself an athlete right now. Do you know what I mean?
Cool.
I can run, I can swim, I can jump, I can cycle, I can swim, and I've cycled as a result of just September, just gone, from Donegal all the way to West Cork. Wow. 1,000 miles, 1,200 kilometres.
Incredible. Okay, so school then wasn't your bag, is that what they say? So at what point did you finished the Leaving Cert, you got into college. What course did you get into in college?
So, yeah, to get to that point, I literally, again, didn't do any study at all in school. None.
That'll sound familiar to some people.
Yeah, and I'm just going to tell you, right, so if people say, geez, Colman, some people might say, Colman, geez, he's doing okay. He's been on television, he has a book, he's on TikTok, he's 100,000 followers, all these things, okay? But I didn't excel in school at all.
And the reason why you say all of those things is not to, I hope, to make yourself sound brilliant and big. It's actually the opposite.
Yes.
It's to make people feel, I didn't fit in, but look what I have achieved, and I believe anyone can achieve it. Is that your kind of...
Yeah, no, totally. Like, so and I wouldn't be a boaster of anything. I just like to actually just work as hard as I possibly can. I don't even like compliments. Even the Bula bus that I got there before we started, I don't really enjoy that. I just enjoy the process of getting up, doing something, and feeling better. Not from anyone else giving me a clap.
Yeah, absolutely. You're motivated by something else. But I also think that the reason why you're happy to say it is because you feel like you have got there in a way that everybody else can do it.
Yeah, so that's why I try to make myself as relatable as possible. Yeah. Right? When I was in school, I definitely didn't wear shorts and Birkenstocks, and I didn't do sea swims. I was someone who I played GameCube and PlayStation and all those different things, Nintendo, Mario Kart, Double Dash, until 3 o'clock. Right? So
12 o'clock is nothing.
12. So, yeah. But fair play to you for going to bed.
iPad down, have it out. That's going to be now on the recording.
So, as a result of that, what I'm trying to do is say, I did all the things that you're doing, and probably worse, and I'm doing pretty good at the minute, but I definitely could do better, and that's what I'm just trying to emulate to everybody.
And so you went to college to do what? What did you get into?
I actually didn't get what I wanted in college. I wanted to do sports. I didn't even get 300 points in a Leaving Cert. Is it different now?
No, that's...
Yeah, so still a point system.
Yeah.
I'm not that old. It's only for 10, 12... How many years? 18. Anyway, so 10 years more ago that I was in and doing the Leaving Cert. I didn't get my first choice. I didn't get on top of the CAO, which is literally sports. Didn't get that. Second one, another outside job, horticulture. Fell into it.
So you did horticulture?
Did horticulture.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, went through it. Being determined, I'm fairly determined. If I start something, I really want to finish it. Just to kind of say that I can do anything. Cool. Because loads of times when I was growing up, like it was, you're not tall enough, you're not strong enough, you're not skilled enough, you didn't make it. So that's kind of in me. So to make sure that if I start, that I would continue to do it.
Okay, so we'll definitely get you to talk about the horticulture course, because maybe some of them might consider it after the brilliant year they're going to have with me doing horticulture.
Yeah. It is a good course.
But how many years was that course?
That was 3, and then I went on to do 4, and then I was asked to do a master's, and I was like, no way. And then I got talked into it, and I did a master's.
You did a master's as well?
Yeah.
In what research?
Organic horticulture.
Organic horticulture.
So I specialised in it.
So after college, you can still go on and do even more study where you specialise in some part of what you've studied. So he's a specialist in organic horticulture rather than, say, inorganic or non-organic horticulture, which is more common.
Yeah, too right.
Although there's a whole debate about that. Why do people who grow organic vegetables have to call them organic? it's the people who don't grow organic vegetables that should be calling their vegetables not organic.
It's a very good point. Actually, I don't know why that is.
Anyhow, so college, did you have an idea in your head at that stage that you'd just get a job in horticulture?
I said I
wanted
wanted
a quiet life in Waterford.
Yeah, I was literally going to get married at 24. Was just lining myself up for a girlfriend, one boy, one girl in my head.
Yeah.
Because even through school, I didn't have a girlfriend, wasn't ever really good at talking to the opposite sex or trying to get a partner. I didn't have a proper girlfriend until I was 21. And again, like I'm just telling you, I was low barrel kid, falling asleep at the back. If not, I was throwing rubbers, talking, and if I had an iPad, I would have been taking out the iPad. That was me. That's literally trying to put that in my head. That's exactly what I did.
Alexis, speaking of which, can you put it away, please, and please pay attention. You're now on record as being picked up for not paying attention. So you had that picture in your mind of a more conventional way of making a living and a more conventional future of like a family and that kind of thing, and probably settling in Waterford. I'll put it this way for fun. What went wrong?
What went
or
wrong?
at what stage did it go wrong? Like at what stage did you not start following that conventional route?
I got influenced by people on social media to say, do you know what I mean? It can be different. And I did the master's degree, which again got me to meet people. And from that then I did a little bit of travel to Europe, out to different farms. And again, it was a lifestyle that was like, this is totally different. My mother and father work 12-hour shifts. They cook the standard bacon and cabbage. We have pizza on a Friday. We have the Chinese on the Saturday. Sunday is always the roast. There's no evening dinner. But when I went out to the likes of...
me.
What's that?
That's okay, right?
Yeah, no, loads of people do that. And I just saw other people living a totally different way of life. And things that are different are kind of cool. That's what I would think. Maybe some of you guys would say similar. No one really wants to be the same anymore. After I suppose to try to be more individual. I was like, that's really cool.
Okay.
The way of eating.
Were you on the phone a lot in college? Were you a bit of a digital addict?
No, would you believe I didn't want to go on social media? I didn't have an email actually, which is the stat. Does everyone here have an email?
Oh, jeez, they have to in school.
Have to in school. I went against it. I went against the grain, and I said, Miss, I don't have an email and I don't want to get one. And she said, you have to, because otherwise you won't be able to get the pre-exams. And I was like, oh my God. I was asking my friend, would you take...
Were you anti-technology?
I was at the time, yeah. So Facebook was the one that I first went onto. And from that then, you had to get an email. So once I had an email, I went onto Facebook. And there wasn't any TikTok, there wasn't any Instagram, but there was a YouTube that I used a lot.
In what way? Looking at stuff?
Looking at stuff, yeah.
And did you become more and more addicted to it at that stage then?
No, it took me a long time to build up to that. And
Are you an addict now?
Where's the fine line in addict? I use it every day.
You use it every day, but you're probably into it because it helps you be better on your platforms.
I use it completely different to everyone else.
Yeah, you're researching all the time, thinking, what can I do? What can I do next?
Yeah. More so, I literally post and gone. Post and ghost, I think it's called. Okay. I don't have time to do this.
Yeah. You're not a scroller then?
I know. I'm literally trying to go to bed at 10 o'clock, getting up at least at 5:30 or 6 o'clock in the morning to get everything that I have to do, a car packed or wherever I have to go, or maybe get in a workout with somebody in the morning before I go to an event to talk, or do my own shopping or do something for myself.
So at some stage in the build up to a conventional life, did you change your mind, or did it gradually go towards, I'm going to be a social media person, I'm going to be making content, I'm going to be making this up totally myself rather than getting a job? Was there some moment which that happened, or did it happen gradually?
No, very gradually. There was no, I jumped off.
Did you get a job?
Oh yeah, did I get it? So my job experience was, when I was in college, I got a landscaping job. And my father said, don't become a landscaper. You will be digging for the rest of your life. Digging holes, planting trees, And that's what I did for 9 months. And then that's kind of or 6 months or so with work experience for college. And I said, I'll do the master's to get a higher qualification to, I suppose. I did have it in my head to actually become kind of a teacher.
Okay.
I did in the back of my mind.
Yeah.
Because along the way, someone said, you won't be a teacher. Because I wasn't paying attention. I was on the laptop. I was on the phone, I was on, you name it, talking. That is me, that was me, because I didn't have an interest in it. in the topic, and that's it. You have to have an interest in what you want to do, otherwise you won't really ever do it.
True. Well, you can force yourself, but it's pretty miserable, isn't it?
Yeah.
But so, was there somebody or some moment where you realized actually I could get out of this conventional landscaping job and do something, do things differently?
It was definitely small incremental steps. When I graduated, I said, Jesus, it'd be great if I could set up a market garden. That's not common.
Okay, so
Does
you
anyone
started
here?
off as an entrepreneur, really, or you thought you might be an entrepreneur, setting up a business?
Yeah, I
Okay,
suppose that.
okay.
Yeah, and that came from listening to YouTube podcasts. Then I found out that I couldn't always look at it because if I wanted to do more, I would have to put it in my pocket and put in the earphones, the Bluetooth, and be actually doing something. I could do two things at the same time, and then from that, I listened to more business podcasts, and it was something that then it was recommended.
Business podcast.
Yeah, business podcasts changed me.
So was there something about making money that interested you? Were you motivated by making money?
I was
for yourself?
motivated on making money at something that I was in charge of.
Right.
I don't really like to be told exactly what to do.
Okay.
That's me.
That's typical entrepreneur stuff.
Yeah.
It is often the person who wants to set up their own business is the person who least like working for other people, because their personality is just not right for it. So you were headed towards business.
Hello.
Hello,
Yeah.
Andrew.
Hello, I have Ruth supervising next for you.
Okay, well I'm going to drop into them at some stage. We're doing an interview.
Huh?
We're doing an interview.
Yeah, perfect.
And now you're on the interview.
Live.
Oh,
No.
sorry.
We'll tag
We
you.
can edit. We can edit. So the entrepreneurial urge, I'd say a lot of them have it in this room, is like just the idea of making lots of money but in a different way from conventional.
And I'll tell you, right, starting off, you'll be a million miles away from making a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's what I'll tell you. So, who here would like to make more money? Okay? The simplest thing in my head after I decided to try and make some of my own money was, okay, fruits and vegetables, very little effort. Let's say a fruit, you put an apple tree in the ground, you can sell an organic apple, no problem at all, for €1. That's one right there, and that is literally a perfect example of an organic apple. It actually has a couple of dents, blemishes, okay? It's actually a form of a disease called scab, like chickenpox, you could say. It doesn't give us scab or anything like that. In fact, it's actually healthier for you. And then when I was trying to make money, I was like, how do I make more money, or how do I actually sell it? So then I started to learn and listen to nutrition podcasts. From that, I could literally sell this to absolutely anybody. This is not just an apple. This is something that contains vitamin C. It contains fiber. Take a bite out of it.
Dirty.
Yeah. In fact, it's literally even better for you if there is dirt on it. Because dirt is good for your gut health, and that's something I massively must stress to everybody. If you actually touch the soil, it's called grounding. That's one of the reasons why I wear sandals on a regular basis, so I can quickly touch my feet.
Like Steve Cooney,
Yeah,
the guitar player.
touch literally off the likes of the soil, and when you do that, you actually increase your energy levels. Who here would like to have more energy levels? Yeah, and for anyone who is under 5, I'd highly
The
recommend.
whole school's going to be going around barefoot now from now on.
Yeah, you don't have,
No.
and you don't have to go barefoot. All you have to do is touch soil or something that's living. That's touching a tree, that's touching the ground, that's touching a shovel that has muck on it. That's a form of grounding. And or the sea swims or the cold plunges are all living. So take the example of seaweed, right? In the sea, you can literally and do get more energy after you come out of the sea. Anyone ever have that experience? Not yet. 1 or 2? Yeah, very interesting. So that's the idea. Yeah,
Okay, let's go back to the life first of all.
yeah.
Uh,
You're good to rein me in, I must say.
Yeah, no,
yeah,
I-
very good, because I do go off.
I have a lot of experience in this reining people in who like to talk, including Ryan. No, so basically, at what stage did you say, actually, I'm not going to get a job, I'm going to make it up on my own, I'm going to be a self-starter, I'm going to be comfortable with the uncertainty, because remember, there's a job there if you want it, which gives you a regular timetable. You go home in the evenings, you can forget about it, you get your money into your pocket at the end of the month or whatever, and it's a very simple kind of life, right?
Yeah.
What stage did you reject that and say, no?
Yeah,
not
very
for me?
good question. I love how I've been brought back every time. So, would you believe I've only been out officially on my own because I was afraid? 2 years, less than 2, a year and a half. I've had steady income from other different sources, whether it's, I'm going to say, management of land from other people, right? So, I didn't really believe or didn't want to make the jump. It's scary. It's scary not knowing how much you're going to make this month. It's scary not knowing really, or having a weekend off, especially if you have to try and make up the €1,000 that you want to make in a week, or 2,000, whatever it may be. So it's incrementally, again, it's all about incremental. I didn't ever just go click finger, want to be an entrepreneur. I tiptoed, I stepped one step at a time, which is, I suppose, which learning is. You don't learn all the information at once. You don't earn €1,000,000 in all in one shot, or get it just by the click of your fingers.
So
everything takes time.
So list all of the ways at the moment you're making money.
All the ways. So I do nutrition courses. I do,
which is essentially teaching people,
about,
and they pay a fee for being part of the workshop or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Both online and in person.
Okay, online in person.
Yeah. So that, I suppose, extends my reach of people.
Yeah.
I then do personal training, right? Online and in person. So we'll just keep that to 2.
And that's 1-to-1 mostly, is it?
Both. I do 1-to-1 for a higher value ticket.
Yeah.
So from people want 1-to-1, you pay more money to, I suppose, 1-to-1 when you speak with a doctor, or if you get just general advice in a group setting.
And that's about physical fitness and strength.
With added weights or home workouts typically. You could call me the Joe Wicks of Ireland.
Okay. That's 2 then.
Yeah.
Another way, you still do the market gardening stuff?
The market gardening I don't do as much of anymore, because that is a full-time job that literally doesn't even take Christmas Day off.
So you don't do that?
I don't necessarily do market gardening anymore. I do a lot to people. I teach people how to grow in allotments.
Yeah.
Will be a third one. And then I would also...
So you go to their allotment and help them grow?
Yeah.
Or you... Okay, brilliant.
Go to their allotment and, let's say, set up a class that is set for 6 o'clock on, we'll say more so, the likes of 10 o'clock on a Saturday morning for the general public to come to, with a fee for people.
Multiple students coming along. So that's kind of like the first one, isn't it? You've got like a group of people who want to learn about something, and you're showing them how. And then you do this as well, which is where you go to schools and give talks and...
set them up with either polytunnels, orchards, or veg patches, or anything else in between.
And he'll get a fee from the school today for being here. He's here, committed a whole day to it. He's travelled up from Waterford. He has to travel home again. So it has to be a decent fee that you get paid for that. Does that happen very often?
I had one yesterday. I have one next week, and it varies. So that's why I have to have a couple of different jobs, because when one isn't filling the needs of paying the bills, I have to go to the other one.
Yeah.
I have to use social media then, which is where I...
But you don't make any money directly from social media, but you use social media to promote all the other stuff. So
I use it as free marketing.
Yeah, you're marketing.
Marketing every single day, because social media is free.
But is there a way you could make that content, maybe they know, is there a way you could make that content pay you? Like, surely if there's YouTube videos and you're generating advertising revenue for YouTube, you get a fee, no?
It all comes down to, and I'm not the best at anything, would you believe, and still wouldn't ever say, well, maybe a little bit more now. I'd be the best, I would think, nutritionist, organic grower, personal trainer in Ireland. There is no better. If you know anyone else, I'm actually would put myself in the healthiest condition in Ireland. If there's a man or a woman or anyone else in between that is healthier than me, I'd love to meet him. So I put myself on the top tier of that.
And even from that position, you can't make money directly from advertising revenue through YouTube or TikTok. I thought people make money all the time.
It is all down to views. It is all down to views. So that's a whole, so all the jobs.
If you build up the views, you could get more. You could
most certainly say that. But
are you hoping for that at some stage?
That'll be definitely something further down the line.
Okay,
Yeah.
excellent.
So as I said, right. So we just have 4, if not 5, different jobs there.
Yeah.
And then marketing and making money off social media will be a 6th. There's so many things that I have to do and go, I'm making money. How do I make money there? And we only have so many hours in a day.
And you have to also file all that money. You have to declare it to revenue. You have to pay your taxes. You have to send out invoices. You
have to make calls. I have to do
everything.
You
don't have
else.
an accountant or a bookkeeper. You do
I do have an accountant.
Right.
Accountant literally at the end of the day.
Yeah, because you need an accountant to sign off on the books.
On the yearly income and expenditure of things that I bought for or used in my business.
Yeah, you can do it. You can do the kind of recording of it, but an accountant has to
sign off,
declare it to the government
Correct.
as being legitimate. Otherwise, you can't be in a business. Yeah,
question.
really nice question. The fan?
Yeah.
Sure, yeah. That's a good question, actually. Can I turn it on?
Any other questions while we're, I suppose, out on a break here? Question, yes? I have to have sponsors in my videos to get paid. Very good. And I do some sponsorship work at the minute for an exchange for the product or service. So I actually worked and was an ambassador for Shine's, I'm going to say, tuna, which do sardines, they do mackerel, what are the chances of me having one of them in my pocket, right? That is something that is a single ingredient food. It's something that I literally have on a daily basis, and it was a very good question. Very good question. It was and I happen to have something in my pocket. So it was the idea that to get sponsored, you have to gain the advantage of using a product or service. So that's something that I definitely will do a lot more of. Is there anything that you would recommend me, brand-wise or anything else, to reach out to that you are currently using or think might suit me?
Wait, what did you say?
Is there any brand or service that you think I should reach out to in relation to that would connect with the lifestyle and the topic that I kind of promote? What's that? Food dudes, yeah. B&Q, actually a very good one. And I actually thought about that, about literally setting up, I'm going to say, a Colman Power organic raised bed, where the lengths of timber are actually in behind B&Q, the amount of screws that are there, the tools that are needed. So I literally just put that up on social media, and every time anyone buys it in B&Q, that I would get a kickback from that. Very good. Well done, thank you. Another one.
You said that you could guarantee you could sell that apple to anyone.
Yeah.
How would you do that?
Right, who here would like to be healthier? Fair play. And when I say anyone who wants to be healthier. That would definitely be my, I suppose, target market. So people who didn't put their hand up, I'll never be able to sell to you. And that's something that's very important. You can't win every game, but you have to win the majority of the games. And that's it. That's why the majority of the hands went up here.
And so maybe what you'll find is at the end of the day, there'll be a group of people in the class who just don't even think what you're talking about makes any sense. And there'll be some people who go, I will start to change maybe my attitude towards it. They mightn't change their life yet, but they might change their attitude a little bit.
And I'm just going to say that, okay, the foods that I eat have massively changed the way I look, the way I feel, and how much energy levels I have. I didn't have as much energy in school. I probably would have rated myself similar to the majority of you guys. 5 is probably the average day today. That right there, and all the foods that I recommend aren't sprayed with harsh chemicals, and this isn't information to scare you. It's more so to inform you. There's greens there that are in this bag, okay, that are something that contain vitamin C, that contain iron and magnesium. That's kale there, that literally grows all year round. It's probably the easiest crop to grow, and it's something you can put into stir fries, you can put into mince, or you can put into, what's kind of cool is smoothies with an organic yogurt, which is just here behind me, and as a result of that then it's protein, and you can add in, who here likes, I'm going to say, nuts or seeds in any of their food items, or has them for lunch? Yeah. That's something that's a healthy fat that helps your brain function. So if anyone's a little bit, I'm going to say, slower or doesn't have enough energy, I would highly recommend foods in combination that have proteins, fats, and carbohydrates. Most children, most young adults, most adults would undereat. So I get people to actually eat more so they actually have more energy levels. And that's who my target market are.
Okay, so yeah, I think we'll finish up on this. I basically have a sense that we grow up in a world that's constantly advertising certain things to us, right? And telling us that we should eat this type of food, we should drink these type of drinks because they're nicely packaged and they're really tasty and they're really fun to eat and all that kind of stuff. And we naturally fall for it, right? But what more and more people are saying is that if you think about it, your body isn't telling you that. Your body would, if you could listen to your body's telling you something very different, which is it's really, really bad for you. And we're only starting to figure out how bad it is for you in the last 30, 40 years. And you've all watched kind of YouTube videos about people who've, making a documentary about only eating McDonald's and what it does to them. It can actually kill you. And only drinking soft drinks and all that, the kind of crap you're taking into your body when you're drinking all the soft drinks. So I think what you're saying is, if we step out of that kind of money-making world where they're all trying to sell us something, we start to hear something slightly different from our own well-being, and that is that keeping fit, healthy, and eating well is just what you want. It's exactly what you really want if you could stop the messages that are drowning out that.
Yeah, and I suppose that's kind of one of my jobs and roles. That's why I'm on social media, because I didn't see and would have liked to see more individuals promoting eating more real foods instead of a protein shake, instead of a lovely branded Nike, I don't know what t-shirt this is, and I'm the least brandiest fella ever. I literally wear these same shorts, I have 5 of them, I rotate them round, I wear tank tops most of the time on social media, I don't wear any t-shirt at all, I do runs on the beach, and I live a minimalistic life. Would you believe all the things in the world don't mean anything to me? I have a decent car. I most certainly haven't bought a house as of yet, but like I just have a nice phone. I have the minimal amount of stuff that literally keeps me happy. Materials. I don't have a fancy watch. I don't need those things. Those things really don't make you happy, right? Being healthy, being happy, and having a group of people that I exercise with, both in work and separately, is really what we actually all crave. And that's something that I suppose I want more and more people
And
to
my
to
last
see.
question then is, how about the opposite sex?
How about the opposite sex?
Has that improved for you, Colman?
It's definitely got better. But I'm a 34-year-old man. I'm single at this moment in time, so that's where I'm at right now. And that's something that there's a separate podcast that I've got interviewed on in Dublin. I was asked up. It's Gavin. I think it's the Warrior podcast. Talks all about why and certain things that take up a lot of energy. Like relationships can be something that take up a lot of time, and it's something that I haven't delved into. So what I did was, being clever, I can cut out things and I have more time for others, and that's what I've actually done. Not to say that's the right thing, so nobody's perfect. That's what's happened in this scenario right now,
Okay.
which
You've
you're
made a
looking at.
choice.
Made a choice at in past, and now I suppose have to make a decision to go either left or right.
Okay. Any other questions before we stop recording? No? I'll come up again, I'm sure. Okay, thanks very much, Colman. Power.